In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. We all know today's gospel. We've all grown up with it. It's one of the wonderful stories we have to encourage us. It's beautiful. People come to our Lord. They want to eat. They want to receive blessings. And our Lord does not send them away hungry. He feeds them. He looks after them. He cares for them. And he also teaches his disciples an incredible lesson. So in today's gospel, we see three parties. The first, the people who come. Why are they coming? They come seeking something from our Lord. They come seeking teaching. They come seeking healing. They come seeking his love. They come seeking him. They knew what they wanted. They asked. And our Lord, we know, on numerous occasions, when people have come to him and people have tried to stop them, he said, let them go. Let them come to me. Let them make their requests, their demands heard. I want to hear them. I want to hear the voice, especially of the oppressed, especially of the injured, especially of the hurt, especially of those who seek me and seek healing. Let them come to me and let them speak. And when they came to him, they received his teaching. They received the healing that they had required, and they received the nourishment that they didn't even ask for. The second characters were the disciples, entrusted with these people. Lord, what do we do with them? In our own practice, in the church, as clergy, as parents, as friends, as siblings, people come to us sometimes wanting things, and we just don't know how to give them. When there is a level of hurt, a level of need, a level of change, a level of accommodation that we're not aware of how to deal with. The disciples were overwhelmed. These people are here. Send them away. They didn't know what to do. But they forgot that there was a third element to this equation. It was our Lord. The disciples actually needed to do nothing except follow his instructions and pass on what was given to them by him. The first thing our Lord said to them is, this is your responsibility. This is what you must do. This is what I have entrusted you with. As he does with us, this is my church, you are my stewards, these are my people, this is my flock, you care for them. You can't send them to anyone else. But I will look after it. I just need you to make sure there's order, to make sure there's comfort, to make sure there's calm. Imagine if the disciples started running around in the midst of the people saying, we don't know what to do either. We know you're hungry. We know that you have diseases. We know you need healing. We don't know what to do either. Who would that have served? What would that have done? They went to our Lord and said, what do we do? Seat them. Comfort them. Care for them. Remind them that I am here. Remind them that I have taught them, I have healed them, I will feed them. You don't need to do anything. You need to be a conduit, an agent to pass on what I give you. So stop running around, Stop panicking. Commit this to your faith in me, and then follow what I tell you. But look after them first. And so they did. Said, it's okay, don't worry, the master is here. It'll be okay, it'll be fine. We know him, we've tried him, we've tested him, we have confidence in him. We are not alone, you are not alone, he is here. Just sit down. He's asked us to tell you to sit down. He has asked us to tell you to be calm. He has asked us to reassure you that he will provide. And then, of course, the main element is our Lord himself, who only as he could fed all of these people. You see, only he could give the teaching he gave. Only he could give the healing they needed. Only he could feed the multitudes with 5 loaves and 2 fish, with absolutely nothing. And I tell you, in my ministry, in my service, how many times I have felt that I only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. Well, what do we do with this? In the midst of need, in the midst of hurt, in the midst of trauma, in the midst of pain, Lord, what do I do with these 5 loaves and 2 fish? Just comfort the people, and I will work through you. But then there needed to be an agreement. Those there needed to trust and to sit and to wait. Those entrusted needed to minister and to listen and to provide. And he who is in charge needed to be the nourishment and the healing for all who are there. We all have our responsibility. We all need to carry that responsibility. We all need to understand each other's needs. See, the disciples, the first thing they said, listen, they're hungry, send them away. Send them away to who? Send them away where? Who is going to feed them? 5,000 people. What are they going to do? Go and steal food from the local farms? Travel at night without eating and go to their homes and be unsafe? Send them where and to whom? I am never going to send anyone away who is in need, because I am the bread of life. Because I am the living water. Because I am the chief physician. Because I am the source of all healing. And if you send them away, then who else will help them? And so it is that when people come to us, either as a church, or as I said, as parents, as friends, as servants, they say we need, and there is so much need of so many things, in so many ways. Our first response is, of course. Of course. Absolutely. And then, tell us what you need. And then, let us have calm. Let us have order. Let us have peace. And then, become a conduit for the limitless gifts of God and the healing that he can provide. There's a responsibility on everybody in this equation. And I suppose the greatest lesson was learned by the disciples. A, they understood they could not pass on their responsibility. B, they understood that they had to be a source of peace and comfort and stability. And C, they They had to remember that they could never, ever send anyone away, but that they had to remain as a conduit to the grace and gifts of God. And the beauty is, those who were waiting ate until they were satisfied. They didn't start stuffing their pockets. They didn't keep saying, no, we're hungry, we don't want more and more. They ate until they were satisfied. They appreciated, they were filled. And even with all of that, there were 12 baskets left over. God's gifts are limitless. God's grace is without bounds. God's healing is above our comprehension. And God's care, as the Good Shepherd, is to the extent that he lays down his life. That is what we must do. If we need something, we must express our need with a faith that the Messiah is there, with an honesty that we want what we want. If we're listening to the requests, we must listen as our Lord wants us to listen, with love, with care, with responsibility, with grace. And if we are providing whatever it is that we can provide, it is by channeling the limitless gifts of our Lord to those who are in need and those who can only receive nourishment and healing and fulfillment from him and him alone. And glory